Hello there, Scorpios. Welcome to your tarot reading. My apologies for, getting this out a lot later than the other three readings I did. Things have been a little bit hectic from my end, okay? I promise that I'll get these out a little bit earlier than, the start of the new month for next month, okay? So, once again, I'm going to relay four big messages for you, and then we'll go into your reading for this month, okay? So the first thing is they mention here there's like a little bounce in your step, okay? So I feel like for a lot of you, especially since last month, if there has been a lot of just major breakthroughs, major, clear communication, insightful conversations, and soulful communication between you and your significant other, I feel like romantically things are going to be a lot smoother for this month, okay? They're saying a little bit of a bounce in your step. So I feel like for some of you, it's single or coupled up people. There's a lot of people around you that are either showing interest in you, or the communication overall, the romantic ambience, the flirtation is going to really escalate this month. I feel for some, there are attractions that you have with other people in the work front. And then I feel like for other people, you're in a relationship with a person that really treats you very, very well. So that means they, really take care of you. They make sure you're okay. They make sure that, if you've had a bad day, they really take the time to listen to you. And then if you've had, aches and pains, they really, take the time to make sure that you are taken care of physically, emotionally, and mentally. So I do sense that you're in a relationship where you can kind of sit back and let your partner take over. Okay, so I feel like there's a lot of faith and trust happening for many of you in the relationship sector, especially if you're in a stable relationship with a person, like married or in a long-term relationship. And then I see like singles, recently, newly single people. It seems to me like, what often I feel like, Scorpio, when you're in a relationship, it seems to be very long term. So it's not often that go jump from people to people, and it's not like for a long stretch of time where you are single. So for those who are newly single, I feel like you're sending out, just this vibe that you're single, not that you're broadcasting your business, but I feel like other people are in tune with that. And I feel like they're making passes at you, or at least you have several offers coming through from other people. If you are newly single, I just don't feel like you're ready to date. And I don't feel that you want anything, too serious. So you're still just sitting back and, enjoying the moment, enjoying the flirtation, but not really doing anything from your end, okay? Because I feel like that's just, you feel that you're not emotionally ready yet. And you also feel like you want to give your best to a relationship. So if you're not emotionally ready, you don't want to cheat the other person, out of what they deserve. So I feel some of you are just sitting back, enjoying your bachelorhood and not really thinking heavily about, new relationships just yet. What I'm also feeling as well for many of you is there's some restructuring within the home. So I feel like you might have children that are coming in and out of the home environment. They might be, going to their grandparents. They might be taking trips. They might, if they're enrolled in like intramural sports, for example, I feel like they might be traveling, or you might be busing them around, either playing the soccer mom, the soccer dad to drive them around places. So I feel like you're in and out of your home a lot, okay? So it feels to me like it's going to be a lot of a very busy month with a lot of errands to run, driving people around. I see you constantly like stepping in and out, running a lot of errands in and out of your house. What I'm also feeling as well is for some of you, if you've lived with a partner and there has been, some recent separation or something like that, the partner might communicate with you, and there's like, moving things in and out of the house. So like things are being switched, you're switching location when it comes to things, okay? So you could be returning things to them. They could be coming in and removing physical items from your house because they're no longer living there. And I'm also feeling as well, you're reorganizing, you're downsizing and reorganizing. And I feel like it's also quite significant. So I feel like this is a month where there's a lot to do. There's just a lot of activity in your household. There's a lot of, the vibration itself feels to me like you're being sought after socially and romantically. And really make time to reconnect with friends, okay? If you feel like you've been cocooning yourself in relationship and with a relationship partner, try to branch out a little bit and reconnect with your friends, okay? The third message that I have here, and it feels to me like this is related to, more your professional life. So it just feels as if some people are not willing to cooperate. And I'm sensing the people might be dealing with, their own self-esteem issue, first of all. And they don't really know how to, they might not be in a position where they can take orders, first of all. They might not be very receptive to constructive criticism, or they have this little bit of a chip on their shoulder where they get a little bit defensive when you offer your advice. So I feel like for some of you, if you are a teacher, it could be, coworkers or children or the younger people that you're trying to teach or mentor. And then for others, it's coworkers that you're dealing with. And then for others of you as well, people that you manage. So they're a little bit, I feel like on the defensive end. And so when you approach them, I feel like you're really good at making somebody feel as if all of your attention is on them. But when it comes to offering constructive criticism, hold back a little bit, try your best to sugarcoat, just try your best to put yourself in the other person's shoes and figure out what their hang up is so that you can approach it in a way where it allows you to both to have a conversation rather than making them feel like they're a little bit cornered and that this is a session where you talk about what they're doing wrong. I'm sensing that, putting yourself in their shoes, understanding what are some of those chips that they're on their shoulders that they're dealing with, and then approaching it in a more sugar-coated way. I feel like it's going to be better for you long term for your professional life, okay? The last message that I have here, let me see how this is playing out. They mention heavily about finances, and I feel like for some of you, it's sort of like figuring out how, it's not so much that you're lacking in financial security, but it's more about being very, very clear and being very systematic and organized about your accounting, your bookkeeping practices, okay? So I feel like there might be opportunities for, auditing. So for example, if you run a business, you want to keep track of everything, okay? So have a clear way in which you organize inventory, you organize expenditures, you organize your profit, your revenue, have a spreadsheet, have something laid out, and, make sure that you spend adequate time every month to make sure those spreadsheets, those databases are kept up to date, because I feel like somebody is looking into your financial situation and they're trying to figure out if everything adds up, okay? So it's not so much about, whether or not you're going to have financial abundance or financial lack, but it's more about your bookkeeping practices and whether or not it is completely organized. So I feel like taking some time to figure that aspect out is going to be very crucial for you, okay? So let me just talk about what's coming through for you guys for this month. First of all, let me talk about this residual energy because it's something very similar to last month. What we have here, this is some type of a news communication coming through. And it shows up here as the Page of Wands in the reverse position. The way I'm reading this, it could be a person or an energy, but I feel like there is very, very clear communication that needs to be had with this person. And let me just say, if this is a physical person, like a fire sign, a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo, this is somebody who is kind of like, lacking in a sense of direction. They're just like, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I major in this field of study? Should I do that? And overall, they're not really sure what they are trying to do. And I feel like they might get themselves in situations where their indecisiveness can kind of snowball out of control. For some of you, I feel a relationship partner. For others of you, I feel like this might be children that are around you or your own children that you're dealing with. There is going to be heavy communication between you and this person, and this is somebody that you really love and you care about, okay? And I feel like that you really care about, like, for some reason I feel like this is a really good person, very honest, very faithful, very in the past they seem to me to be very clear about their intentions, their objectives, but I feel like they're lacking in a sense of direction. Where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? So they're a little bit wrapped up in their own issues at this present moment, and you're very concerned for them. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of text messages, long distance communication between you and this person to work out the logistics, and I feel that they're coming to you for a lot of guidance, mentorship, and advice. And I'm getting a very strong teacher vibe based on these two cards, where they're lacking direction. They're making decisions that are not, feasible for them long term and for their greater good. And they need to be steered in the right direction. So I feel like they're coming to you and they're just like, I don't know what to do. I got myself in this sticky situation. How do I get out of it? And so you're going to kind of like, I see you kind of like, I see them on like a monitor set, one of those earpieces, and they're talking. They're like, what do I do? And you're giving them step-by-step instructions as to what to do. I'm seeing some people that might be working in a mental health capacity as well, where you might have a client and they're just like, how do I get myself out of this situation? And you're walking them through it. You're telling them step by step, here's what you do first, here's what you do second, here's how you get yourself out. So that's going to be coming through, and I feel the energy is heavy towards the first half of the month. So from, the 1st of August into the 15th. And for others, this might be, somebody that you're taking under your wings. You're trying to teach them the necessary skills so that they can be independent. And I feel at this point, they really like you. They're just really like smitten by you because of that certainty that you bring to the table. So they might not, they might have all the information that they need to make decisions on their own, but I feel like they're relying on you as a little bit of a crutch or as a safety security blanket. So there's going to be communication between you and them. And it's really important for you to draw very clear boundaries, okay? If they're calling you for very mundane things that they should be doing on their own, it's a breach of boundaries. But I feel like they really like you. They don't mean any harm. It's just they like to be around you. So you might be even romantically be pestered by this person, where they want to hang out all the time. If you have started recently, very recently, dating them, they want to they want to find every excuse to just communicate with you. So that's coming in. I feel like you're going to feel very flattered though. So this is not somebody that you're going to get mad at, but I would just advise you early on in that interaction to draw those clear boundaries. Okay. So you've got some suitors coming through here. The next thing that we have coming through deals with your work environment. So this is a really, really good card. It's public success, getting very positive reception, getting positive feedback, getting positive accolades, okay? So I do feel that success is highly indicated this month for those of you who are dealing with the public, and for those of you who, for whatever reason, you might be, they're saying like getting a wide following. So I feel like you're going to be very successful to push a specific agenda along. you might have been met with resistance in the past, but I feel like this is the month where things get pushed along the way that you want. If you are, for example, looking for funding, looking for projects, looking for new work, you're going to have financiers, investors, or, promoters coming through to push these projects along and to persuade people to, get on your side. So I do feel a major, big push, projects, and I feel like contracts or anything that has been blocked in the past, I do feel there is an easing up and there's this big push for things to move further along, okay? So it looks very, very good for many of you on the work front, and even if you have been, trying to get acceptance into schools for further education and things like that, I do feel many of you are going to be, faced with multiple options. So not only will you get, your the choices that you want, but I feel like you have several to choose from when it comes to education. This is a page, and this usually deals with a student energy. So you might have several jobs to choose from, several schools that you're getting admitted to choose from, or even several projects that you can pick and choose which one to devote the next phase of your energy and the next phase of your work cycle to. So new projects are coming through, and I do feel that this is indicative of a major career move and a major stepping stone, okay? The next two things that I want to mention here is I feel like for many of you, there has been a relationship recently that you have separated from. So a major significant relationship that you have separated from. And what I feel is this is a card overall about a burdensome relationship, a relationship that feels very heavy, a relationship where it feels like only one person was pushing the relationship along, and it's like the burden of the relationship falling on one person's shoulders, and over time it felt very difficult, it felt very unfair. When it shows up in the reverse, it's basically, dropping the baggage, dropping the burden, and trying to move on. So I feel like many of you might have broken up, okay? This is dropping the burden, and as well dealing with some sadness, some regrets about how things transpired. And I feel like for many of you, this is a relationship. There is great chemistry, and I feel many of you were with a person that was really good for you, like a person that they have a good heart, they have the best intentions in the world, and at one point there was great chemistry. There's really strong attraction, very strong chemistry, and just a really strong, very strong, like I want to say like a visceral, a full body, like desire for another person. For whatever reason, this person might be dealing with their own issues and they're not ready to commit. And I feel like there might be news, communication, and things like that still filtering in with this person. But I feel like this is the month in which you're going to try to move away from this relationship and pursue other opportunities, okay? Or at least you might feel like, okay, we can't really communicate back and forth like this anymore because it's keeping us stuck in this cycle where we don't want to lose the other person, but we're clearly not made for each other. And so I feel like for many of you, if this is a relationship that has recently ended, you might be communicating the beginning of the month, but towards the end of the month, you might not welcome that communication anymore because you want the other person to move on. You want black or white. You want clarity. Like, are we done or are we still together? So I feel like you're gonna make a final decision here towards the end of this month. And for example, if you're living with them, they might move out. Okay. And then for others, I just feel like you've ended a relationship. You have somebody new that you really like. And I feel like there is really strong chemistry. And for those of you who are dating new people, you have people that are clearly really interested in you. Okay. This is a person that this is the card that I consider like someone who's single and has multiple options, multiple choices, multiple things that, multiple directions that they can move forward with, and especially in love and relationships. but I feel like you're not entirely ready just yet. You like the attraction and the fun and the excitement, but you want a relationship that is kind of like a whole experience, you know? You want somebody that not only the attraction, but that has, that can make you feel good emotionally, that can be very sensitive and nurturing to your own emotional needs. So you're still, single, trying to get over that past relationship and trying to move on. I do feel as well for some of you who are dealing with this, it feels to me like you have to be very clear. And I'm going to go into your relationship reading in just a little bit, but I want to be, I feel like they're saying here, be very clear, be very, very clear about what your expectations are in the relationship. So I feel like some of you have new attractions. You're not ready to date just yet. You just want to have fun. You just want to have, more of a physical relationship, or you just want to have flings and things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like you're really holding yourself back, and because you feel like, oh, I don't think that this person has everything that it takes. So you're still not over a relationship, and you're still trying to move forward, like appreciating the fact that new people are coming in, but I don't feel that you're going to take the plunge, okay, and enter into a new relationship. I have done 3 signs now, and it's really interesting because all across the board, I feel like the month of August overall, a lot of relationships are being re-examined, and especially a lot of people are entering new relationships. And just keep in mind, we're dealing with a very heavy Mercury in retrograde cycle, and it's going to run from the second week of the month of August until, the middle of September, and the energies can be felt 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after the 3-week retrograde cycle. So getting back with exes is not something that I highly recommend for this month. I feel like Mercury retrograde cycles are best when we can take the time to do some inner work and to do some inner reflection, to redo something, to re-examine something, and to, figure out what went wrong and how we can fix these things. So I feel like it should be an internally motivated month, but for a lot of people, they project that energy outwards. They want to reconnect to other people from their past. They want to fix things. And so I would just urge you to, do this. Enjoy the opportunities that are coming in, but I don't feel like it's a good idea or a good time to budge, okay? Mainly because in this cycle, we're not going to be thinking and operating at our best. The way we assess situation is going to be a little bit fuzzy. It's going to be a little bit idealistic. And once the Mercury retrograde cycle ends, that's when the fog starts to lift. So I do feel it's really important for you to just like draw back your energy and do the work internally. And in addition, this is not a good month to make investment opportunities. So if somebody's coming to you and they're like, hey, I have this business proposal. Okay, if they're coming to you and they're like, I have this business proposal. Do you want to get on board? And you have money, disposable income, and you're just like, maybe I should invest. I would urge you against that, okay? This is not a good month for new financial ventures, mainly because I feel like the details have not been worked out clearly just yet. So it would be wise to just, don't do anything new for this month, or if you must do it, read the fine print, ask a lot of follow-up questions, and honestly, trust your intuition when it comes to like things not sounding completely legitimate or things sounding a little bit off. You want to put a hold on that, okay? Your ability to be very sharp and discerning and, asking the right questions, your intuition kicking in, I feel like these things are kind of working against you this month, which means that your senses might be a little bit dull. You might see what you want to see rather than the reality of the situation. So I feel like your intuition, it's naturally very, very sharp, but I feel like you might ignore your intuition in favor of the ideal, in favor of, somebody spinning you a really good story and you might fall for it. You're not naturally like the Scorpio. You are incredibly, incredibly like, I feel like very sharp, very clear and, objective. But I feel for this month, you might be taken in by a story, by a person, and you might jump the gun on certain things, and you need to be careful about that, okay? I feel overall it is a big month for a lot of events happening, a lot of things, a lot of errands to run, and just, a lot of social activity as well. Try to curb your spending a little bit, okay? It's not a good month for investment. It's not a good month for, overspending and seeing money just drifting like away from you. And you feel like, oh, I have enough in my coffers to, cover a rainy day. I feel like it's just a good month overall to keep a tight rein on your spending, all right? So we're going to see what's available for you guys in terms of love, relationship, and romance. Give me just 1 second. Okay. So love, relationships, and romance. Scorpios for the month of August 2017. You've got some good cards, Scorpios. What I feel is, let me just say in the past, right? A lot of you have encountered situations and people, and I'm not just talking about love. I'm talking about people in your life where for whatever reason, you don't really, it's almost like you communicate with each other, but they're not understanding where you're coming from, and you're not understanding where they're coming from. And so the communication itself has been one of the major problems in the relationship. And you are somebody that is very respectful of other people's differences. So it's like, okay, let's agree to disagree. And when somebody does something wrong, or when somebody communicates in a way where it doesn't really make sense, you have never shied away from, telling them, wait a minute, that's wrong, or the way that you're thinking is a little bit too narrow-minded. I don't feel like you've had a problem in the past telling them that there's something wrong with, their mental processes, or the way that they analyze, or the way that they have arrived at the conclusion that they have drawn for themselves. And for the people that you were dealing with, the message might have been a little bit harsh. And so they get defensive, right? And then in the future, when the next time something like that, a similar incident happens, they become a little bit more defensive. And then I feel like it breeds resentment. And so one of the things that I feel coming through in this relationship spread is to be very, very clear and to soften the blow a little bit when you communicate with another person. So it's kind of like, expressing yourself in a way where you can be a little bit more conscientious and not hurt the other person's feelings, or at least not make it so personal and to sugarcoat things a little bit, so your partner doesn't feel attacked, or the person that you're dealing with doesn't feel attacked. And I hope that makes sense. But I do feel like this is the month where you are going to meet somebody who understands you, who thinks like you, and who's going to come into the picture, and you're just like, wow, communication flows really well between the two of us. You actually get where I'm coming from. And in the past, I thought there was something wrong with me because when I communicate, the other person thinks I'm verbally attacking them. But you understand me. So I feel like there is going to be a major breakthrough happening in relationships, okay? And you're meeting somebody that, they think like you, they behave like you, they understand you. And it's gonna feel like coming home. It's gonna feel like, okay, I'm not weird, or I'm not, it's not me. This person gets me, so obviously it can't be me. So I feel like that's you're getting some major validation here as it relates to how you stand with other people, as it relates to, is there something wrong with my communication style, things like that. So I feel like either way, it's really important for us to be a little bit conscientious about, getting our point across without feeling like we need to be combative, getting our point across while still being very respectful of other people's opinions, other people's how they arrive at their conclusions. So that's really important, okay? So let me just talk about the relationship here. First of all, let me talk about the person you're thinking about. So crowning this reading, we have here the Page of Coins, okay? So this is an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising, and Five of Wands. So I feel like for some of you, you're thinking about this person, and this is an earth sign. This is somebody that what I'm feeling is they might not even be this they exhibit the quality, they might not even be, this sign, but they are somebody that starts like 5-6 projects at the same time, and they lose interest very, very quickly. They don't really have the capacity to have like deep emotional conversations. And I also feel like the way that they are, their mind races, a mile a minute, and they kind of like I'm getting somebody with like attention problems, or I'm getting somebody when they don't like something, they just won't listen. They just tune out, okay? And on top of that, they just have difficulties having long drawn out discussions because they lose interest very, very quickly. And if you have been involved or have dated somebody like this in the past, there was a lot of misunderstanding, and just like you are vowing to yourself that you're not going to date somebody like this because you need somebody with a lot more substance. And you need somebody that can have these long drawn out discussions without losing their interest, or without losing their train of thoughts, or without losing, their sense of, okay, what are we talking about again? So I feel like shallow, superficial, and even people that have very superficial knowledge, they don't really interest you anymore. And there might have been a person you've dated in the past that was like this, or you're just like dealing with this person. This is a new dating relationship partner that you're kind of involved with, and you're just like, I don't think that person is right for me. And you would be right, because I feel like you need a lot more substance with your relationship partner. Okay, so we have this person coming in. They're kind of scattered and kind of all over the place, so I don't feel like this is somebody good to date long term. You can have fun with them. It seems exciting, but you're not going to agree on very much, okay? So that's what we have coming through here for many of you. The foundation is something that you know to be true. We have here the Two of Cups and the Six of Swords. First of all, the Two of Cups is a very, very strong soul connection that you have with another person. And I feel for many of you, this is a person that you really, really like. Some of you are already in this relationship. And there might have been a little bit of strife, or even distance, physical distance, or even emotional distance between the two of you in the past. You are bridging the distance for this month, and I feel that you both are coming together in a like-minded fashion in order to, continue to cultivate the love in the relationship. This is a very, very strong card about friendship, like a relationship with a foundation in friendship, camaraderie, and, you know, mutually liking the other person. You like the way they think, you like their moral compass, you like, you know, their sense of personal responsibility and integrity. So you have somebody like this that's in the picture. For some of you, this might be another water sign. So we have here the King of Cups, another water sign, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. And I'm seeing, like, you know, the way that you both interact, it's very similar. So they're saying a lot of feelings, a lot of love, a lot of emotions are being reciprocated between you and a water sign here. And the relationship can be very, very good for you. And it allows you to feel like, okay, we both think alike. We're so much alike. So, you know, it's going to work. And I do sense like if you have been in a relationship where there was especially a lot of strife, you're going to really appreciate the presence and you know, the sameness, the similar qualities in which this person interacts with you, that you're going to feel like this is the one for me. This is somebody that, you know, understands me, that gets me, that I don't have to constantly over explain or, you know, have to, you know, explain my motives. They just get me. And I feel for some of you, you're dealing with someone who is either incredibly spiritual or incredibly psychic, or they might be in some type of either a mental health. They might be like a healer, a teacher. So like they might be like a doctor, a nurse, or they might be in the mental health profession, like a therapist, a psychologist, a counselor, or they might be working with children in some capacity. Okay, so this is, I'm getting like a very strong healing vibe with this person. So this is Sun, Moon, or Rising, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, somebody who is very similar to you. They understand you inside and out, and they have a really good read on you. And they, you know, you don't have to over explain yourself with this person, and you feel very at home and at ease with this person. And in the past, let me talk about the past. We have here a fire sign. So this is the Knight of Wands. This is a Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo in the past. And I just want to say that what I'm feeling with this person is that they're very independent, you know, like really just a go-getter. And they're looking for new experiences. They're looking for new things. So some of you could be dating this person, and I feel like there's a lot more insight that they're coming and bringing to you. So I feel like even though, you know, they exhibit somebody that has been around a lot, they travel into many places, they might even be foreign to you. So like ethnically, culturally, linguistically, they might be very, very different from you. And because they're so different, they're bringing a different perspective. They're bringing wisdom and insight. And they're really forcing you to look at some of the things that you've, the decisions that you've made, the choices that you've made in the past, and the way that you think. So I feel like they're going to bring a different perspective. They're going to require a little bit of a paradigm shift from your end. And if you are, you know, the type of Scorpio that is very resistant, you might face a lot of opposition with this person because they're so different from you. But on the other hand, it's very exciting, and I feel like they have a really good heart, and they have a lot to offer, a lot to bring to the table, and a lot to teach you. Okay, so they mentioned that this is a person with more of a mentor vibe. They have a lot of life experience under their belt. They've been, you know, to many, many different locations. I feel like this is somebody that bounced around quite a bit in their childhood, either by circumstance or by choice. They love to travel. They love to explore new things, and they love to, you know, like be seen with you. So some of you might be in this predicament or in this relationship, and I feel like things are really going to smooth themselves out in major relationships. We have here offers of love, offers of dating, and offers for relationships to be taken to the next level. We have here the Page of Cups as well as the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is basically relationships leading to marriage, leading to something very stable. For those of you in a relationship with a water sign, I feel like you're going to be very coming together in a very beautiful way to work at your relationship, or, you know, take that next leap, which is either like they're saying like a consummation of a marriage, or even like getting together, getting married. Okay, I do feel a major proposal vibe for many of you, proposing to another person or them proposing to you, because with the marriage card and, you know, sincere love, I do feel that some of you have really met somebody or will be meeting somebody for this month that you can really fall head over heels in love with. I feel a very strong here water sign, so Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, and might be like a new person if you are just dating, and I feel like they get you. You don't have to over explain. And then for others, we have this really exciting world traveler of a person, a fire sign. So this is Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. That can be a really good match for you because they're super exciting, super fun, and I feel like they're very, very honest. They wear their heart on their sleeves, and I feel like they're really, really gunning for you. Like they really, really like you. Okay, so it's like somebody who carries a torch for you. So you have some really good things here, Scorpio, and I'm really glad to see this for you. The foundation is a really beautiful card. We have here the Two of Cups, and the Two of Cups is a soul connection. This is something where you feel like you get each other, you feel like a relationship can be solidified, and you feel like this is the one that is for you. So this is a month where you will have many options coming through. For singles, please take the opportunity to date. We have water signs and fire signs that are coming into the picture, okay? The earth sign, I feel like it's a little bit problematic. It seems to me like they're not ready for the emotional depth that you have to offer. And so I feel like water signs, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, and fire signs, Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo are a better match for you for those who are single. For others of you, if you have left behind let me say an earth sign or a fire sign, okay, in the past, and especially somebody that has trouble being in the present moment with you. They're like either distracted, or even when you're with them, you feel like they're miles away, or they're distracted with their electronics, or they might not have been consistently around. I would say just weed them out, because you have some other prospects coming through for this month, and to keep your energy focused on new people, okay? Because in the future you have here a relationship. This is a relationship card, somebody coming in to give you a solid relationship. And so keeping your options on, keeping your eyes on the new things, it's going to be better for you to attract the right energy and the right people, okay? I wish you the best, Scorpios. I'm really happy to see this for you. So I'm going to be back for the mid-month reading, and enjoy the rest of your month, and I'll talk to you guys soon, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.